teaching businesses how to use social media for about 11 years now. I've got offices over in North Shields, which I normally operate from, but since lockdown, I've been operating from my kitchen, which you can probably tell, which does mean there will be a little bit of background noise. And I have a rather large German Shepherd called Thor, who quite often likes to join in and jump up on me through the seminars. So if he does start barking, I'll quickly put myself onto mute to save your ears. He only does that if a delivery arrives or something like that, but that's the joys of working from home. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about mistakes to avoid with your social media. And it is something that we do see an awful lot of. And I think the main reason people make mistakes on social media, oh, here we go, 2 seconds. There we go. The first interruption, I do apologize. Yeah, so you'll find that the mistakes are made simply because, can you see the dog? You will see the dog, I promise you. Within the next 2 hours, you will see Thor. Yeah, they make mistakes on social media simply because they don't know what they're meant to be doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different platforms today, and I'll guide you in the way of using them so that you're not making mistakes. So I'm going to start with Facebook, and I'm going to share my screen with you. I don't have any slides or anything today. We're just going to be using the screen. Here we go. And I will apologize because this is my personal profile. So we will be looking at it in a second, but you never know what's going to come up on my newsfeed. So the biggest problem people have, or businesses have, on Facebook is that they think it's a free advertising tool. And Facebook turned around to us a few years back now and said, would you stop trying to advertise for free from your Facebook business page? If you want to advertise, pay for it. And in all honesty, the advertising on Facebook is second to none. It's absolutely brilliant. But what you shouldn't be doing is using your Facebook business page for free advertising. The minute you start using words like special offer or buy it now, or you use the pound sign, the software is going to stop your post from appearing in people's news feeds. Okay? So what you've got to do is come up with creative ways of engaging with your audience. And that's the whole point of Facebook. For Facebook for Business, it's all about having a platform where you can engage with your audience. Okay, so what you shouldn't be doing is talking about me all the time when it comes to business. These are the services we offer. These are the products we're selling. Because if you do that, your audience will get bored. And quite often, I tell people that the last thing they should be talking about on their Facebook page is their business. Okay, that's the last thing you should be talking about. What you need to do is really, really think about your audience. Think about what content they're likely to engage with. The reason engagement is so important is because, if I take you to my personal profile, the way Facebook works is it's divided up into 3 areas. You have personal profiles, you have company pages, and you have groups. Now, what happens is people set up their personal profiles, and they on average have about 350 friends on Facebook and have liked about 500 business page. They're the average amounts. And Facebook can't possibly show you every single update from every person because there would be too much content to show you. So what the software does is put in front of you the content that it believes you most want to see. So when I go down through my news feed, I'm seeing Helen's posts. I always see Helen's posts because I quite often engage with them. I'm seeing adverts. This is because I was looking at the Adobe Spark software yesterday, so I'm seeing that advert in my news feed. I'm seeing posts that have been put into the Inspire network. I always see Sensory Treasures. They put little videos on or images of their sensory toys that they sell. And I quite often see Karen's posts. So all this is making sense to me. They're people that I care about, people whose information I often will engage with. And the software picks up if you comment on something, if you like something, if you pause to read something. Okay. And on top of that, what you'll find in your newsfeed are what's called top posts. So posts that somebody's put on that loads of people have interacted with. That's a top post. So that's why if somebody gets engaged or has a baby or something like that, or there's a big announcement, that's why that will suddenly appear in your newsfeed, because you will think of people that you're connected with on Facebook that you haven't heard of in ages. And you'll think, oh, well, they can't be on Facebook anymore. But when you go and look at their profile, you can see they're actually posting every day. But the reason you're not seeing their stuff is because at some point, Facebook has put one of their posts on your newsfeed and you've swiped on past it, you've ignored it. Okay, so that software then picks up, not interested in this person's posts, let's try somebody else's. So the trick is, as a business, what you need to do to get into people's news feeds is to create engaging content that your audience want to interact with, that they're going to click on that like button, they're going to click on the comment button, they're going to share your posts. So you've got to make sure you really know your audience. And that's something else that people quite often don't do. When they come to me, I'll say, right, who's your target audience? And they'll say, any woman, anybody. But it's not that. You've really got to nail down your buying persona to understand who it is you're marketing to and who it is you want to attract and engage with. So I'll tell you a little story about a company in Durham. There was a lady who was a teaching assistant, and she wanted to make a little bit of extra income. So she and her mother invested £30 each and bought a pack of £60 worth of dresses from China. And then what she did was she decided she was going to sell these dresses to make a little bit of extra money by using Facebook and Instagram. So she set up her accounts, and then she sat and thought about her buying persona. And she decided that she was going to sell these dresses to a 19-year-old girl who drinks on the quayside in Newcastle every Friday and Saturday night. She went as far as to think about what this person was going to look like. She had hair extensions. She was bright orange with spray tan, eyelash extensions, enhanced lips, and she wasn't going to wear an awful lot. But if she could get that full outfit for £30, she would buy a new outfit every Friday and Saturday, because she wouldn't want to be seen dead in the same outfit, because pictures of her are going to be all over Instagram. So that's what she did. She got herself a model who was bright orange, eyelash extensions, hair extensions, put her in the dresses, videoed her walking around in them, took photographs and so on, and set the website up. Set the Facebook page up so that when people landed on it, it was completely obvious to them what it was she did, what she was selling. And then what she did is she started to create posts. And they weren't, here's my latest pink dress, this is where you buy it. It was more things like, what's your favorite cocktail? What do you think of this new boy band? Yay, 4-day week. Cute pictures and videos of puppies and kittens and so on. In her first year, she turned over £750,000. In her second year, she did her first million. She then became a multi-millionaire, and just recently she sold her business. Her success is down to her buying persona. She didn't try to sell to every single woman in the world. She concentrated on the one person who was going to buy the clothing from her. And then, of course, it spread and more people got to know about her. And I'm sure she shipped worldwide. Okay, that company, if you're interested, is called Pink Boutique. That's how they started off. So the reason I tell the story is because it's a lot easier to sort of remember them and sort of reiterate the fact that you really, really need to nail down that audience. Don't think that you're just going to put generic posts out all the time. Think about your target audience. Keep an eye on your insights. Use your insights to make sure you are reaching that correct audience. So when it comes to deciding which posts are going to be shown into people's newsfeed on Facebook, you've got to get through that language filter first. Okay, so no sales words. Don't use the word like. Don't use the word share, because those words are trigger words for like baiting. Okay. Do think of creative ways you can bring your product into it. You could do polls, for example. You could just have the photograph in the background, but with a motivational quote on. People love those kinds of memes. But the most effective style of post on all social media is video. Priority is given to video posts, and all of you will have noticed you're seeing more and more video come through your newsfeed. And part of video are stories. So it really is time for everyone to start looking at Instagram and Facebook stories. They're even being rolled out over on LinkedIn at the moment. So you need to come up with creative content for your Facebook page that is going to be engaging. So I'm going to go on down through my page here. This is an event that I put on Facebook. It's an event. I'm going to make money from the event. Therefore, Facebook want me to promote it. So you can see my reach on this post is only 83 people. That's another event, 59 people. But here's a video I put on. So this is where I've created a video from static images. I've uploaded them to the app called Quick, Q-U-I-K, which is fantastic for making videos. Pop that on. It's really personal. This is me meeting my brand new granddaughter, my first grandchild, for the first time. It's reached over 1,000 people. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. Okay? So the more personal you can make your post on your business page on Facebook, the more effective your marketing is going to be. You can see on this post, 52 people have engaged with it. 159 people have engaged with it. 52 people have clicked the emojis button on it, and 22 people have commented it. 2 people have shared it. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's nothing to do with social media. What matters from a marketing perspective is that my face and my company name have popped up in the newsfeed of over 1,000 people. The one below that, again, there's my granddaughter again, but together with that, there were some lovely reviews that were left after a 20-minute webinar I'd done. So I'd use that as a screenshot. 504 people saw that. An event back down to 100. Another event back down to 100. And here we go. I've actually started gardening for the first time in I couldn't tell you how many years, 455. So you can see the difference, can't you, between putting an event on Facebook and something that Facebook feels you should promote and putting on something a bit more personal. You've got to start thinking of Facebook as your engagement tool. Ask questions, run polls. You can schedule things in advance if you want to, but you should be doing all your content creation now within your creator studio. So that's hidden behind publishing tools. And we'll just let that load. You can see Facebook have changed me over to the new style of Facebook, which is being rolled out everywhere, but there are still tons of glitches on it. But here's the Creator Studio. This is where you should be creating all your posts now for Facebook and Instagram. You can schedule to Instagram from here as well. That's another big mistake people make. They use other third-party software to post to Facebook. If you do that, they're going to stop your post from appearing in people's news feeds. Hootsuite, I know, is a preferred supplier of Facebook, and it's not meant to make any difference if you use Hootsuite to post to Facebook, but it absolutely does. When we last tested it, when you post onto Facebook, if you're directly and your reach is normally 1,000, if you use Hootsuite, that might be reduced to about 300. But if you used any other third-party scheduling software, you were getting no views at all, or 1 or 2. So only use the tools that Facebook provide to schedule to Facebook. And all you would do here is come into your Creator Studio, click on Create Post, or you can add to your story. And then you'll see the selection of the different styles of posts, here we go, that you can create using your Creator Studio. I've already said that video takes priority on Facebook, but what you must think about, let me just get that closed. What you must think about is the fact that when people are looking at video on their mobile phones through their news feed, they're looking at it with sound off. So whenever you create video, do make sure you add subtitles to it. If you do, more people will watch your video because they'll read the words as you're going along. And it's quite simple to do. You click on the button here to upload video. Let me see if I can find a bit of video in my, there we go, that one there. So you'd upload your video and you can see over here, subtitles and captions. And once the video is uploaded, you can click on the button to auto-generate. It will create the subtitles and captions for you. You can then click on the button to edit just to make sure that the softwares work properly. And you will need to do some editing. It is far, far better than it used to be, but it is an excellent tool to use. So once you've got your subtitles on there, you can then create your post, and then you can schedule it or post it straight away if you want to. You can also create polls in your Creator Studio. Now, one of the great ways of creating polls is to use the animated GIFs. I'm just going to stick a couple of GIFs on here. There we go. So you could ask her, which do you like best type of thing. You can do this with your products if you want to. Again, you're asking a question. Now, I've never had it confirmed or denied by Facebook, but I'm absolutely convinced that when you put a question mark in a post, the software picks that up and knows that you're being engaging. By using animated GIF, it means there's something flickering when people are going through their newsfeed. That's going to capture their attention. Something that moves, something that flickers. You can customize your poll and run it just for a day or two if you want to. Okay, you don't have to put them on for the full week. If you've got a Facebook shop, you can tag your products in there as well. You can have a get messages button on the top of your post. All this kind of stuff you create here within your Creator Studio. And then when you've created it, you can, like I say, share, schedule it, backdate it, or save it as a draft. Once you've connected your Instagram account, you can do the same here. Create a post for your Instagram feed. And let's just Pick on the social media angels. Write your caption, always put in a location. That's a big mistake people make, not including a location on their Instagram posts. Add your content, and then you've also got the option, if you want to put a click in this box here so that it goes onto Facebook as well. And again, once you've done that, over here on the right hand side, you've got the ability either to click the publish button and they both go off to Instagram and Facebook at the same time, or you can schedule each post to go to whichever platform at whatever time you want. All right, so create with no third-party software. Always use Facebook's own Creator Studio. Right, I'm going to pause for a minute because I've been waffling on for 20 minutes. Do we have any questions yet?
Hi, Amanda. Yes, we've got 2 questions here. The first one we've got is from Miriam. The question is, why add a location? My services and products are available globally.
Okay, so if your products and services are available globally, there might be a particular area that you want to be noticed in. So you don't always have to put in your physical location. You're putting in the location that you want to be noticed in. And what happens is people do search for location post on Instagram. It's one of the search facilities in Find, and lots of people are using it. So if you want to be recognized in the Northeast, you might do hashtag any followers. If you want to be recognized in Leeds, hashtag Leeds. If you wanted to be recognized in Madrid, you'd use hashtag Madrid. Sorry, location Madrid. Okay, so you can pick and choose the locations. It doesn't have to be physically where you are, but you do want it to be where you want to be recognized or noticed.
Fantastic, brilliant. And we've got another question here from Noriko. When I share a link on my Facebook page, it seems people hardly see the post. Should I always add a comment when I share a link?
Yeah, you should never just share a link. Okay, now I'll share it. On Facebook, the order of priority of types of posts are right at the top, you've got video, or live video, actually. Live streaming will get you the best reach ever. Underneath that, you have uploaded video. Then you have engaging posts with nice, bright, new content. So it does pick up on Facebook if you're reusing stock photo or you're using the same images over and over again. People like to see something fresh and new. Underneath that, you've got links to interesting articles where it pulls through a good preview picture. Under that, you've got shared posts and links only. All right, so you really don't ever want to do that. The best way, if you, for example, you wanted to put a video on and you wanted to use, let me just go back to Facebook. So say you were looking for a cute video of puppies. Do a search for puppy videos. Say we wanted to share this one here, the best puppies compilation of 2019. If we wanted this on our business page, you don't click the share button. What you do is right click on it. It's making you smile, isn't it, Rory?
Yeah, no, I'm more of a cat person as well, so that's...
Are you? Hang on a sec. We right click on it. Are you going to play with me? No, it's not playing. So maybe this is something we can't do anymore on the new style. This is why I go live, because something will always, always be different. Right, so what we're going to do is take this link up here instead of clicking on the share button. Okay, and then when we go to our Creator Studio and we use that link for a Facebook post, you paste your link, it pulls through the video. You can then delete the link, you don't need it anymore. It's sitting behind the video. There we go. And then you'd put in the areas as well as hashtags. you're posting this on a Friday, you could do a bit of Friday fun. And then down here, you'd go into schedule and say, I want this one to go out on Friday at whatever time. Okay, so that's the way you'd share a link, rather than clicking that share button. Copy the link, paste it, that will pull through the video. You've got no issues with copyright because you can see down here the other page is still mentioned. But that kind of tricks the software into thinking that you've uploaded a video rather than sharing video. Okay, hopefully that's answered that question.
Perfect. Yeah, we've just got a few more here. Going back to the previous question from Miriam, she's asking, can I put more than one location?
No. In the location box itself, you can't. However, you can with hashtags.
Perfect.
No.
We've got another question here from Elise. Does tagging products affect the amount of views?
So we're talking about Instagram, oh, I suppose, and Facebook now. It's on there as well. No, it shouldn't do. If anything, it should improve it. And it should certainly improve the click through to your shop or to your website. So I would be tagging products if you've got that facility. Not everybody's got it, but if you've got that facility, absolutely do it.
Perfect. And then just last question for now we have from Marianne. It says, how often should you post?
Really good question. So Facebook's guidelines are that you should post between 3 and 5 times a week. No more than that on your Facebook business page. If you do more than that, you'll be flagged up as overposting, potentially spamming, and they'll stop your post from appearing in people's news feeds. If you want to post more than that, use stories. But actually on your Facebook business page itself, only 3 to 5 times a week. So far as Instagram, we'll look at Instagram separately, but as far as Instagram's concerned, I wouldn't post any more than once a day maximum on my news feed, but I will update on stories. And I'll allow the story to be, I normally put my story on Instagram, and that allows to feed through to my Facebook page as well. Any more questions there, Rory?
Yes, okay, here we go. We've just got one last one here from Peter, that says, you quote, I think it's like you quote correctly or you're quite correctly, engaging content, any hints on and tips on how to acquire it?
There isn't that. You know, the best thing all of you can do, I'll just stop screen sharing for a second. The best thing all of you can do is have a social media strategy. There is no point using all of these different platforms, posting one thing across all of them. That doesn't work. That switches people off you. That's a huge mistake people make. Okay. Each of the platforms works in a different way, and you need to take that on board and learn how they work. Okay. And then what you do is create a strategy around how you're going to be using each of these platforms. So Facebook needs to be your engagement tool. Instagram might be the behind the scenes, the fun tool. Twitter's all about creating backlinks and driving traffic to your website. LinkedIn's more professional, but again, you want to think about, is your target audience on LinkedIn? How much should you be using it? Well, once you've decided on that, you then want to break that down into, what am I going to talk about on each platform on each day? And if you create a strategy around that, you'll find that content creation is a lot easier. So far as engaging content's concerned, it goes back to your target audience. What do you think interests them? What do they want to talk about? What's topical at the moment? And do they need a bit of light relief? Do they need to see a video of your dog running up and down a beach? Absolutely, at the moment. We all need a bit of light relief. But it's all about, where can you stick that question mark? Creating polls, as I've said before, brilliant. People love to click a button on a poll. On the Facebook business page, you've only got an option of 2 things to choose between. So you know when these posts go around, is it gold, is it black, or I think the recent one was it green and grey or pink and blue? and everyone sees things in different colors. Running those as polls is really engaging. Asking people what they prefer. Keep away from contentious issues though, because yes, it'll get you engagement, but quite often it'll be people will be forming negative subliminal feelings about this post and therefore the creator of it. So you're best off avoiding things like that. I always tell people no politics, no religion, and up here in the Northeast, no football.
Well, that's it. There's not much difference between football and religion in the Northeast, I think, as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I've just got one last question now, from Abigail. It's is it good to use hashtags on Facebook?
Absolutely. I'm just about finished a blog on that I'm about to publish. And yes, it is. And Facebook are encouraging us to do more. Don't use 30 hashtags like you do on Instagram. Again, what you've got to realize is a huge part of social media is subliminal messaging. And if we put things on or we do things the wrong way, the way people aren't expecting them, they again are starting to feel negatively towards our brand. That includes feeding 30 hashtags from an Instagram post through to Facebook. So yes, use hashtags, but only use a maximum of 3. No more than 3 hashtags on a Facebook post. So what I would advise you to do is when you're creating your Instagram post, put 3 hashtags in it if you're feeding it into Facebook. Then go back into the comment box and on Instagram and put your other 27 hashtags in there. They will still be functional. You will still appear in the group with all the other hashtags that are talking about that subject, so long as you do that as soon as you put the post on. So you put your 3 hashtags in straight into comments and put your other 27 in. And I'll just see if my phone will play with us this morning. It doesn't always like to screen share, but we'll give it a go. Make sure I'm on the right Wi-Fi. No, I wasn't. I've been having a good day today, haven't I? Right, so I'll click on screen share. And we'll just see if it's gonna play ball. Screen mirroring. Are you gonna play with me today? Not yet, it's not. Okay, I think we'll have to come back to that. I'll just talk about what I wanted to show you. That's probably because I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi, maybe. No, it's not playing. Basically, what I do is on my phone, I have a note file. And in that note file, I've created a note with 27 hashtags in it. They're my generic hashtags that I copy and paste into my comments on Instagram. I'll show you what I mean. If I go to my profile, do we put them on there? So here we go. So up here, when I've created this post, there he is, there's Thor. You will see him in a bit, I'm sure. There's my 3 hashtags that are to do with this image. And there's my 27 generic hashtags that I've copied and pasted across from my note file. That saves me hours, as you can imagine. The thought of sitting there and creating 30 brand new Instagram hashtags for each post I do would be terrifying. It would be so time consuming. And the way I do it is I break the hashtags into 3 sections. So I'll do 9 hashtags to do with the business services I offer. So I've got social media marketing, social media management, and so on. Then I do 9 hashtags to do with the locations I'd like to be noticed in. So we've got North Shields, Newcastle, Gateshead, Durham, County Durham, Northumberland, and so on. And then the final 9 are more personal ones. So it's things like hashtag She Means Business. That's the campaign I work on for Facebook and Enterprise Nation, and dog lover and working mum and things like that. I should change that now to working grand, shouldn't I? But these are all the sort of the things that, so they're more personal ones. Instagram don't like it if you use the same 30 hashtags all the time, but I'm not. Because I'm changing the 3 so that it relates to the image I've uploaded, it's fine to do it because they're looking at it as an overall 30 hashtags.
And just, I think you've pretty much answered this question, but also following on from that is why should you diversify hashtags?
Right, so the reason we use, just to explain hashtags, so on social media, there are 2 function keys. You have the @ and the hashtag, and they are function keys on every single social media platform. The minute you use the @ key, you're telling that social platform you're about to go into the function of naming somebody or something. So you're naming a business page or you're naming a person. That's what the @ key's for. And the point of that is, if you use the @ key, you're creating a tag, a link between you and that person or you and that business. But it also then means that they're notified that they've been tagged in a post. Because if people were just typing company names out or typing people's names out without using the link, the tag to them, then nobody would see what's being written about them. So that's the @ key function. The only other function left is the hashtag. And a hashtag is used to group a conversation together. Okay? And people search on hashtags. So if people are talking about hashtag social media and they want to see all the posts to do with social media, they'll click on that hashtag and they'll then have a news stream like this one here, showing absolutely everything that's been labeled with hashtag social media. And that is how people do search. Okay, so that's why using hashtags is so important. I'll have to see if I can, in the break, if I can get this screen mirroring to work with my phone, because under every single Instagram post you have on your mobile device, if you look at it now, you'll see you'll have a button underneath it that says View Insights. When you click on there, it shows you what your reach is, what your impressions are, and how many of those you gained because of the use of a hashtag. And you will see it's a massive difference. So I'm just opening Instagram on my phone. I know I can't share it with you, but if I go to this picture here of Thor, and I click on View Insights underneath it, I can see that that image reached 529 people. 8 people clicked on the button to look at my profile. 1 person clicked through to my website. 1 person wanted directions to my office from it. I can see that it reached 529 people and I had impressions of 574. The difference between reach and impressions are that reach are the individual people that the post has reached, and impressions mean how many times my image has been impressed on somebody's account. So that would mean in this instance, nearly 50 people saw it more than once. Okay, that's why there's a difference between reach and impressions. It then shows me that 426 people saw it because it appeared in their news feed, and 116 people saw it because of one of the hashtags I used. So if I didn't use hashtags on this post, the reach would only have been, quick maths, 413 rather than 529. So you're missing a trick if you're not using hashtags. I think that answers that one.
Yes, very comprehensive answer. Thank you very much, Amanda. And just one last question before I let you get back into it. Does engaging with other people or businesses' posts make my Facebook page appear more often?
Okay, so the business to business interaction on Facebook is excellent, and it is so underused. So what a lot of people don't realize is that you can like business pages as your business. Let's shut some of this down. That one can go as well. There we go. So we can go to a business page.
Oh, that's more like it, that video there for me.
What was that, sorry?
That's more me, this video here with the cats.
Yeah. Brilliant. So if I look for Digital Drive Durham, and do they have a page? Yeah. No, that's not where I wanted to be. Maybe I've gone to the wrong place. So if I'll find a different page. If I went to the business factory, oh, there we go, that'll do. Okay. So when you go to a business page and click on the like button, you're liking that business as you. All right, so Amanda Dixon has liked North Tyneside Business Forum. If I click on, it's moved it over here. There we go. If I click on these three dots on the right-hand side, you can see I've got the option to like this page as my page. And when I click on that, it'll say, which of your pages do you want to like it as? All my pages. You think you've got problems with one page. Look at the state of that. So I'm going to say Northeast Social Media wants to like it and submit. So if you think about, not necessarily your competitors, because I wouldn't do it to my competitors, but if you think about different pages that your target audience may be connected with and interacting with and so on, by you liking that business as your page and interacting as your page, you're putting your business page and a link to your business page in front of all those people. So business to business interaction like that is really important. And you can see down here, for example, on this post here, you can change who you're commenting as. So you can see I can flick to Northeast Social Media. And when I click on the like button, it shows everybody there that Northeast Social Media is interactive with this page. So obviously if you're commenting on posts rather than just clicking the like button, you're going to get even more interaction or more notice. So yeah, definitely do that.
Real perfect. Well, we'll be taking more questions at points throughout the session still. So I'll let you carry on, Amanda. And
Okay. So where should we look now? So basically, sort of to wrap Facebook up, because I think I've got 18 hours of Facebook training in my brain, and obviously we're not going to get through all of that. We've got other platforms to look at. But the key points to make from this is stop trying to sell on your Facebook business page. By all means, set up your shop and put everything in the right place and so on. By all means, do that. But hang on, I think we might get a visitor. You coming up to say hello? Here we go. There we are. This is Thor. He likes to get involved, don't you? Yes, you do. Good boy. Thank you very much. The joys of working from home. Good boy. Down you go. There we go. We'll have a cuddle in a minute. Make sure your page is set up and completely optimized. Make sure that you've visited your settings and that you've got all your settings correct on your page. Make sure all your about information is correct. Make sure you're using the call to action button and that the link is still working. Loads of people set up their pages years ago when they were still on an HTTP website. They've now secured their site, so that link is wrong. You're sending people to the wrong place. So make sure all the background stuff is done on your page. Think about engaging content, questions you can ask, the sort of things your buying persona would be interested in seeing. Don't be afraid to put personal stuff on your Facebook business page, remembering all the time that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And you've really got to think about video. Okay, they were saying that by 2020, where we are now, 70% of online marketing would have to be video. And they're now predicting that by 2022, 85% of your online marketing will need to be video. Back in December, the stats on Instagram were that there were far more people swiping on Instagram than scrolling on Instagram, which means more people are now watching stories rather than going down through their newsfeed. Okay, so really think about that when you're creating your content. I'm not sure if now's a good time for that break, Rory, before I hop on over to Instagram.
Yeah, no problem. We can do that now. That's fine.
Okay, lovely. Let's have a 5 minutes and then we'll get into some of the other accounts.
Okay. See you in 5 minutes, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okie dokie. Hopefully you've all managed to grab a cuppa, because I certainly did. Okay. So let's look at Instagram. So one of the things, again, I think people make a mistake of in Instagram is they don't think about their newsfeed or their profile page. And what happens is you just got random images that are being uploaded and there isn't any flow to it. It doesn't particularly look professional, which for us as businesses, it should do. So what I advise people to do when I'm working with them is think in patterns of 9. Okay, it might be that you've got 9 different aspects of your business that you want to promote equally. So it might be that you use each of these for a different area of your business. Think about the templates you're using. You know, how do you want your business to look to people? How are you going to get your brand onto your Instagram account? All right, so actually put some thought into it. So I'm going to show you some other accounts that have really put thought into it. This is my favorite. This is Toro UK. So they're a company in North Tyneside up here in Newcastle, and they make leather goods. Okay, so they sell their leather products, and they've thought about their buying persona, and their buying persona are men who are interested in designer clothing. Okay, so that's like a very small description of their target audience. And when you look down through your through their news feed, you can absolutely see that they've cracked it. I mean, that just looks fantastic. Their branding's there, as you can see on their products, so they don't have to keep putting their logo on if they don't want to. They've got these fabulous templates that they're using. They probably create those in Canva, that they're using for their testimonials, and just the whole account has a fantastic feel to it, and it absolutely matches their target audience. Another one to show you who've used a slightly different style is Avocado Social. So, oh, she's had a baby, not lovely. So what she's done here is she's created her Instagram account totally on brand. And you can see as we go down through the images, every single image has got green in it. It flows beautifully. All right, and again, you can see Canva templates have been used. They're not all the same, they're quite random, but they've all got her branding colors on it. What this will have done is that for her followers, whenever they see something green now coming through their newsfeed, they're going to associate it with her brand and her company. Another one I love is that the right one? Eye of the Tyne. Yeah. So this is a photographer's account. And he used to be really, really random with the images that he was putting on Facebook. But now again, he selects certain images now to represent, I mean, what he does is wedding photography. But you can see that he's showing all the different styles that he does. But it's absolutely beautiful. It just runs through so well. I love these pictures here of the bride and groom on the Tyne Bridge. And somewhere we've got photographs where he's got a bride and groom jumping off a cliff. There we go, look. Although they're not in their full regalia. But yeah, all kinds of different images he's put on there. But he's showing the full selection of what he does, but it runs through beautifully. So again, think about what you're going to be putting on your Instagram account, because look upon this area as your storefront. Okay, so when people come on here, you want your brand to be coming through. Your stories, you can have a bit more fun with. So here's Peter's story, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images in it. I think that's possibly a few too many. I think if you want people to watch your stories all the way through, then posting 3 times a day would be perfect. When you post something on a story, it stays there for 24 hours before it drops off. Therefore, you're showing exciting, new, fresh content all the time. I mean, you can use Instagram for sales as well. And obviously, if you've got an Instagram shop, you can be putting in your products and tagging them in your stories and so on as well. You could, if you're holding events, you could create an image. There's a lovely little app called, I think it's Stories Edit. Let me just have a quick look. Is it Stories Edit? Yeah. Have a look, or even Unfold. They both give you really nice, fantastic templates that you can use to create stories. So if you had events, or if you had certain things that you wanted to upload every couple of days and so on, because you want to keep it in people's mind's eye and so on, you would create them in beautiful templates like that, all branded to your company colors. So again, you can put a good deal of forethought into what you're going to be posting on Instagram. The other thing people do, again, is they miss out on putting hashtags, the main hashtags they want to be found for. Put them in your bio. Make sure your bio's up to date. There are loads of features that you can add to it now that you can make public, where people can get directions to your office, for example, or if you're using some of the apps that Instagram partner with, different booking style apps, you can integrate that as well, so people can click and book appointments with you and so on if you're using one of the partners. Your phone number can be on there, obviously the link through to your website. Again, check your web link. There are so many people who haven't updated it since we changed to SSL and HTTPS. So really, again, think about what you want to put on here. Think about how often you're going to post, and write it into that marketing strategy, and make sure you're using hashtags to get the very best reach. If you're looking to build your following on Instagram, a little tip for you, you might type in one of your competitors, go to their account, click on the people who are actually, or click on the posts, and then on the people who are interacting with the posts, and follow them. That's far more effective than just going to the account and following the followers, because what you're actually doing is following your competitors' followers who are actually interacting with their posts, who are actively using Instagram. There's a little tip for you on building your following. Make sure you have connected your Facebook business page to your Instagram account to your Facebook business page, and actually make sure the account you're using on Instagram is a business account. And the way you'll find that out is by going to your account, clicking on the 3 lines that are at the top of your page, which open your settings. And when you go into account information, and when you click on that button, you should see insights. If you don't have access to insights, then you're using a personal profile, and you need to convert that to a business page. One of the easiest ways of doing that is going into Facebook, clicking on settings. Down the left-hand side, you'll see Instagram. Log into your Instagram account through that, and it will automatically convert your profile to an Instagram business account. The only difference is there's no difference to what's appearing in news feeds and so on, whether you're business or personal. The difference is, as a business, you've got access to all the additional tools and, of course, your insights. Have we got any questions? I could see the a couple of notifications flashing up on me there. Oh, it's still on. There we go.
Yeah, so we've got a few questions here. There's one from Miriam. It's just about the stats. So where do you get the stats from? This is probably referring to the earlier part of this presentation.
Okay. I think with the dog barking, I didn't get much through my full introduction earlier on. But one of my roles is I'm a Facebook Blueprint lead trainer, and I'm also an accredited Facebook and She Means Business trainer. And what happens there is I get trained directly at Facebook's headquarters, and they share all this information with us that we can pass it on to other people. All right, so that's where I tend to get my stats from, is directly from Facebook.
Fantastic. What about the stats for each individual post?
So for each individual post, you click on, I mean, obviously you can go into your insights and you can see it all jumbled up together. But if you want the full insights, when you're looking at your mobile phone, you go to your profile and you click on one of your posts. Right underneath it, you'll see there's blue writing saying view insights. You click on that and then you sort of pull the bar up your phone and that gives you your full insights.
Perfect. We've got another question here from Yvonne. It's do links back to your website or your sales page get binned by algorithm?
They can do if you're putting sales talk on with it. If you're making engaging and putting the link through, then it might work for you. You might, it might not be too bad. But as a whole, I think if you're overusing the link through to link back to your website on Facebook, then yeah, it will be affected. They want engaging posts. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Hang on, there's a few questions there. So Marianne's asked a question, does Facebook video need to be 3 minutes long?
Facebook are actually emailing us at the moment and telling us that there needs to be a minimum of 2 minutes. So your videos for things like Instagram and stories and things like that, you want to keep them to around 15 seconds. But the actual videos, if you're doing lives, if you're uploading MP4 like explainers and so on, you need to make them a minimum of 2 minutes, and they're getting priority.
Perfect. We've also got a question here from Elise. It says, how do you choose who you follow? How do you choose who you follow? And is there a recommended amount of people you follow in ratio with the amount of followers you have?
Okay, yep. So what you want to do is you want to, in the first instance, when you're first building your account, you want to keep your followers and your following numbers quite close together. Okay, because that way, if someone's trying to decide whether or not to follow you, they're the sort of stats they will look at very, very quickly to make that decision about whether they're going to follow you or not. All right, because you're likely to follow them back. So keep them close together. You'll then have to slow down a bit. So you can see I've got 3,162 followers. I'm following 2,959. So I'm being more selective about who I follow back, because at the moment you're capped and you can't follow more than 5,000 people. All right, but in the first instance, keep those numbers together. So you'll find apps to help you do that. There's an app I use called Followers Unfollow. And what you do that is once a week, open that app on your mobile phone. That will extract all the information about the people that you're following on Instagram, and you unfollow the people who haven't followed you back to release that number and keep them close together. Don't follow any more than 30 people a day. On average, between 20 and 30 people a day while you're trying to build up your accounts. It's exactly the same on Twitter. If you try to follow too many people at once, it's going to flag your account up and they're going to think you're trying to spam. All right, so use those tools. For Twitter, what's it called? I used to use Manage Flitter, but I think that's changed now. Unfollower stats. So you would log on to your Twitter account on your computer, and then you would go to unfollowerstats.com, and that piece of software does the same for you on your Twitter account.
Real. And we have another question here from Yvonne. It's actually two questions. The first one is, do links back to your website or sales page get restricted by algorithms?
We answered that one. We've done that one.
But even if you don't mention sales within your post?
Yeah, again, if you're putting it on too often, then yes, they will be restricted, because they're going to recognize that fact that that is that link that's going on. At the end of the day, you don't need to keep putting that link onto your website. If you want to create loads of backlinks to your website, go and do that on Twitter. Twitter is fantastic for that. Have your Facebook page set up in such a way that, you know, they've got the button there to click through to your website and your shop and your services and so on. They can clearly see from your cover photo what it is you do. You've got your contact information in there so they can get in contact with you easily. If you brand that page so it is so obvious what you do, you don't have to put on the links. If you want to put offers on your Facebook page, put it in the offers tab. All right, there's actually an offers tab that you can be using. That's where offers go. Put that in the right place and Facebook will make sure it gets a good organic reach. They'll also encourage you to promote that post, but it will still get a good organic reach because you will have put it in the right place.
Brilliant. And then just another question here. Can you post a video and use subtitles on the video to your website or sales page without being restricted?
Sorry, can you say that one again, Rory? Can you?
Yeah. Can you post a video and use subtitles on the video to your website or sales page without being restricted?
You'd be better off if you want that same video on your Facebook page and your website, you'd be better off putting it on separately. So you would, so you'd upload the video with the subtitles on it to Facebook, and then you could either embed that into your website or upload it separately to your website. With your website, you might need to have the video on YouTube or Vimeo to embed it that way. But consider it as two completely separate things. Don't put the video on your website and then just say on Facebook, oh, I've put a website video on, here's the link. That won't work for you that way. All right, so upload it as two completely separate entities.
And we just take one more question before we go back into it. The question is, what are the round pictures at the top of your images? Peggy, tips, workshops, Facebook events management.
Okay, everybody has them on their Instagram account. They're called highlights. And what happens is when you create a story for Instagram and it's just there for 24 hours, it will then go into your archives. Okay, and what you can do is anything that you've put through your Instagram stories, you can then create a highlight with. So for example, if I posted something on my Instagram story to do with an event I was running, I could then go into my highlight that I've called events and add that story to it. Is this going to play for me? There we go. So no, I've not put anything in that one yet. I think it's workshops. There we go. So if I go into workshops, you can see these are images that I've put through my stories so that they're sitting on my phone in my archives. And then if I share stories from other workshops, I can go into my archives and add it here. So these are ones of 25 weeks ago. This was a digital Durham Drive event that I did 21 weeks ago. You can see we did a few daft updates from there, but it's just information. I've shared it on a story, so now I'm available to share it in a highlight. You can see I put some thought into it because I wanted it to look branded. And so these images here that are acting as the cover pictures, if you like, I had to run them through my story and be able to add it to my highlight and make it my cover photo. Hopefully that answers that for you. Okie dokie. So best tips then for Instagram are really think about this profile page, really think about how you want it to look, you know, the fact that it's your storefront and it's showing off your brand, and have a bit of fun with your stories. When you're using Instagram stories, you've got access to loads of different stickers and so on. You can put text on there, you can put stickers, you can tag in other businesses and so on. Use those stickers. Turn your static image into an animated GIF, if you like, just by putting little hearts in the corner and so on. What have I got running through my story at the moment? Oh, there we go. So you can see these are two images and I've used the Mojo app to create them. And then when I've uploaded it, I've put the little hearts on it as well. So that they're static images that are now moving. Okay. So, mistakes to avoid on LinkedIn. There are a lot of people on LinkedIn who still consider this to be, and it is, a very serious business to business networking tool. And again, from a subliminal point of view, when people start to put on posts that would normally be on fake, like the fun posts and things like that, be getting people's backs up. And quite often there'll be a bit of a, this shouldn't be on LinkedIn, this is a Facebook post, and so on. And they are relaxing a little bit, but not very much. So when you're using LinkedIn, think business. When it comes to thinking about what sort of content can I put on LinkedIn, think about maybe diarising what you're doing in your working week. So I could put a post on LinkedIn today saying, really enjoyed delivering the webinar for Digital Drive in Umi this morning, and put a photograph on with it. If you were all on the Zoom screen, I could take a screenshot and upload that. That isn't me selling, that's me showing subtle marketing, letting people know that this is a course that I can deliver online through Zoom. That's how I use LinkedIn. You've got your personal profile and you want to make sure that that is up to date. When somebody comes to your profile, what they're going to look at straight away is this profile section here and your about section. So it's really important that you have them on your page. Make sure you've completed your contact information. It's amazing how many people haven't. We're using this social media to raise our profiles. So we need to make it as easy as possible for people to contact us. When you're in your contact information section, you'll see that there's an area for websites, and most people see that. Put one link through to their company website and leave it saying northeastsocialmedia.co.uk company. And they think, right, that's it, I've put my web link in. But actually you've got 3 spaces there for 3 different websites or 3 different links. So if you're working on your SEO on your website and you're thinking, you know what, I've got to create some good, strong backlinks going to my website, you've got 3 spots here. You can put those links on. So for example, here, I've gone to Northeast Social Media. So what you do is you click on website, you put in your web address and change the button where it says company to other, and then you type in what you want to display next to it. So here I've got Northeast Social Media. Then I've clicked that one through to my blog. I used to have this one going through to my contact page, but I'm top of Google for the terms I want now. So I relax that a bit and put that link through to my Facebook business page. Loads of people have set up their accounts with Gmail or Hotmail accounts and so on. That might not be the email address you want to display to everybody. So you can see my business email address is on here. And what you do there is you go into your settings. I'll show you. We go over here into settings and privacy. We go on to account. We go into email addresses. You can add your business email address. They'll send you an email for you to click on the link to confirm the account. And then you make primary the one that you want to display to everybody. I'll just give you a few LinkedIn tips while we're on there. You can see up here my URL. So the link to my account is really neat and tidy. So to find me on LinkedIn, it's linkedin.com/in/Amanda Dixon. If you look on your URL link and you've got a load of hyphens and numbers, then you need to edit this. If you edit this, you're going to come up in more searches. To edit it, you click over here on the right-hand side where it says Edit Public Profile and URL. And you'll have a box up here in the top right-hand corner where it will have a box and it will have your name with the hyphens and numbers and everything in there. Delete that, type in your name, all lowercase, no space, and see if you can claim it. If you can't, put something on the end. So if I wasn't able to get Amanda Dixon, I would have gone Amanda Dixon Social Media, and I would have created that as my link. The other key area to think about is your headline. when people set up their LinkedIn profiles and they say that where they're working, they can say, for example, I'm the managing director of Northeast Social Media. That's great if I want to be found for a search for managing directors. Not so great if I want to be found as a social media specialist, if I want to be found as a social media speaker. So edit your headlines to make sure that you have got the full keywords that you want to be found for on a LinkedIn search in this headline here. Okay, and again, to edit that, you click on this pencil and here's your headline. That's the bit that you want to update. Again, make sure you've scrolled down. There's loads of people that I train who just haven't scrolled down to the bottom of this box. Put your address in here. Make sure you have an industry selected and your postcode and everything's in there. And this is where on this pencil here, you'd edit your websites and so on. And again, business address, if you use Skype, you can put your Skype ID in there. And as for your birthday, put it in. And the reason I advise people to put it in, they're not asking for your year of birth or anything, they're just wanting to know your birthday. And what happens on your birthday, everybody that you're connected to gets sent a notification to say it's your birthday. And many of them will wish you a happy birthday. Now that's great, but think of it from a marketing perspective, and you know that at least once a year, your little face is popping up in front of all your contacts. It's a great way to remind people who might not be seeing your posts that you're still here and you exist. All right, so do go in and add your birthday. Another mistake that people might make on LinkedIn is in this section here, skills and endorsements. And what they do is they add in loads and loads of skills because they have those skills. But what happens is it dilutes away from the skills that you most want to be recognized for. So if I were you, I would have a look at your skills and I would delete anything in here that you're not bothered about being known for. It might be that it's put down that you do social media, even though you're an accountant. Yes, you might manage your own social media page, but do you really want to be known for that? What I suggest you do, you can have up to 30 skills, I believe it is. Have half a dozen. Just delete them all apart from half a dozen of the skills that you most want to be recognized for. Wait till you've started to gain endorsements for those things that you most want to be recognized for. And then you can add in your other skills. Keep an eye on them because every now and then LinkedIn will throw some in for fun. We're okay today. But I remember coming onto my skills section once and having 6 endorsements for network cabling. Okay, I'd love to see me crawling under desks to put cables in offices and so on. But LinkedIn had picked up on the word networking and gave me network cabling. Just click on the bin, this here, if you want to. You can also reorder these. So if you wanted to change your top skills, the things that you most wanted to be known for, you could unpin one of them and then go down and choose another one that you do want to be known for. It might be that you want to move that one right up the top here so it's in front of all the others, and then click save. And just as a little side on that, if you go in and edit your skills just by moving something around, adding something, deleting something, and then you click save, your account will get 35% more views than it normally does. It's like it triggers something in the software on LinkedIn to say, this person has really updated their account. The recommendations section of LinkedIn is really powerful, but again, people forget to use it. I've been guilty of this as well in the past. Excuse me. What you don't want are the first thing that's showing up here, reviews from 2 years ago, because you just haven't thought to ask people for a recommendation. Keep it updated. So if you're connecting with people and you've recently done work for them, don't be afraid to click on the button and ask them to leave you a recommendation. It makes your account look really good, especially if they're recent ones that you've got in there. Make your LinkedIn profile as full as you possibly can. You know, you can click on the profile section here, and you've got all these different options of things that you can include and add to your LinkedIn profile. Put in as much as you possibly can. Once you've perfected this personal profile, then concentrate on your company page. So let me just jump over to Northeast Social Media company page. Again, you would be posting, but you decide on your content for your company page. It might be that you want to share local news articles if you wanted to be associated with local business. It might be that you just want to share one of your services on here and highlight something. You can use it in quite a salesy way. Once you've created your post, you're then able to click on this button here saying notify employees, and that sends a notification to all the other people that work in your business to encourage them to share that post or comment on it to get you a better reach. You can see on LinkedIn that there's no share button when you're on your page as admin, but if you put something on your business page and then you want to share it to your personal profile, what you do is click on this button here that says view as member, and hey presto, we have the share button. Have you noticed that there's lots of different sections down the left hand side now on your LinkedIn company page? One of them is events. Now LinkedIn are really pushing their events facility at the moment. So if you do run events and you normally put them on your website or your Facebook events page, whatever, make sure you're including them on your LinkedIn events as well. Okay. Right, I'm going to pause. Any questions?
Let's have a look. We've got 4 here. So first one is from Noriko. It says, I'm an artist and author. I use Facebook page for my children's book work and Instagram for my fine artwork. Although each platform has different audiences, should I still connect my Facebook and Instagram?
No, not in this instance. Normally I would say yes, but you have clearly thought about a strategy here and you're concentrating on your fine art on Instagram and your children on Facebook, so you're connecting with parents and so on. Keep them separate. Keep them separate. I think you've done the right thing there.
Perfect. And so we've got another question here from Elise. It says, can you use Instagram effectively on a computer and use external scheduling tools, or would you just recommend using a phone?
I would use Facebook's Creator Studio effectively on a computer, but only Facebook Creator Studio. And the reason that is at the moment, they haven't, you know, Facebook own Instagram and they haven't quite completed the updates and so on that they're doing on the software. But you know that if you're using a third-party app for Instagram, it's going to start affecting the reach. Facebook wants you to log on to Facebook to access your business page. So you go into your personal profile, you log into your Instagram account. Well, I suppose Instagram, you might just have the one, but they want you to log in properly and use their software properly, because then you're seeing the adverts they've carefully selected for you to see. And if we're all using third-party apps, we're not seeing their adverts. And if we're not seeing their adverts, the advertising's worth diddly squat. All right, so just use the Creator Studio on Facebook to schedule to Instagram.
Brilliant. And we've got a question. We've got a question from Miriam. Should I do online sales just on Facebook, or do I need to set up e-commerce functionality on my website too?
You can just do it on Facebook, especially now with the new shop that they're rolling out, if you're selling physical products. I would always advise a client to have an e-commerce website as well. You can set them up quite inexpensively now by using a combination of WordPress with a WooCommerce plugin. That's really, really effective. Lots of people like Shopify as well, but I would have both. I'd love to say to people, and especially because my role is social media consultant, and I'm teaching businesses all the time how to use social media, and I'd love to say to you, you don't need anything but social media. But at the end of the day, people still go to Google. They still search for you on Google for authentication, if you like. So I would definitely have a web presence as well. Even if you didn't want your shop on your website, still make sure you have a web presence. To do that really quickly, so if you wanted to put that on now, today, go to your Google business listing, another underused site that you really all should be using. But go to your Google business listing, and when you go into your dashboard on the left-hand side, you see you've got an option to create a website, and it's just a one-pager Google website, but at least then you've got a link. You can be found as having a business site on Google.
Fantastic. And we've got just one last one here. How do you get blue tick status on Instagram so links work?
You can't at the moment. To get the links organically, you need 10,000 followers. Once you hit 10,000 followers, you're going to get your swipe to go to a website and so on. They took all the because they used to have two types of verification. They had the blue tick for the real established brands, and they had the grey tick that verified other businesses. They've removed that now. Grey ticks have gone because they're looking at different ways of verification. And the problem was Facebook felt that if they were giving out these ticks, it was almost like they were approving these businesses. And then I think there were quite a few complaints about people who had the grey verification or the blue verification ticks that were then not behaving correctly. So they're re-looking at that. They've been looking at that for just over a year now, and haven't come back with a new solution for it. So it's something you're going to have to forget about for the time being.
Brilliant. That's all the questions. I'll let you crack on.
Okay, lovely. And where should we go now? I'm going to head on over. Actually, I've just mentioned Google, so I'm going to bring you onto Google. So Google have tried all kinds of different social platforms, and none of them have quite worked. But they're all, you know, they keep improving it or changing it and giving it a different name. But at the moment, there is still Google Business. Your business needs to be on Google Business. And then what happens is somebody will search for you, spell correctly. And this listing that comes up on the right-hand side is completely free. All right, but what it does is it has a link through to my website, a button for people to click for directions. People are able to save that listing to their web browsers. It's got my opening times on it. And what it should have down the bottom here are posts. You need to be posting on your Google business account once a week. That's all. Once a week. You don't have to put a great deal of thought into it. You can literally go to these 9 dots here, an arrow down, and click on my business. If you haven't registered, just type into Google, register my business with Google. And it'll open up a box, and you'll type your company name in and your address in. If it finds a listing for you, it will bring it up. And if there is none there, and you claim it, but if there is nothing there, what happens is they send you out a postcard. Yes, a physical postcard that comes through the post. It's very exciting. And that postcard will have a code on it, a verification code. You type that back into your Google listing, and then your account will start to display on Google searches. So if I just go into Northeast Social Media, so this is probably what yours is more likely to look at when you click on Google Business. That's the website I mentioned earlier on. Okay, so that would be your mini web page that it will create for you. And what you do, you make sure all your info's on there, you've got access to all your insights. But the important thing is once a week you come in and you click on posts. And you create your post. So I'm going to do an update. And I'm going to type in online social media training. Northeast Social Media are delivering all of our courses online via Zoom. Please keep an eye on our online workshops page. Okay, then off I go to my website. Into social media workshops. Then I'm going to click through to the booking page if it's going to let me. Come on, Speedy. I'll try another link. I think my internet slowed down a bit, hasn't it? There we go. So I want to click through to the booking page, but that's not playing. There we go. There we go. We've woken up. I take that link, click on here to add a button, learn more, pop the link in, add a photo, and publish. That post will now sit at the bottom of my listing on Google. But what I've done is put my focus keywords in that post. I've used the words online social media training, Northeast social media. Okay, that's going to help with my SEO. I've also put my link into the correct box, which is just re-index my website with Google. That's why we're using it. We're not expecting loads of views on the post or anything like that. We're not looking for that. But what we want is Google, once again, to re-index our websites. So that's why we use Google Business. Right, you really don't want to miss out on that. And finally, let's hop on over to Twitter. And you flick into my account. Again, a few mistakes that people might make on Twitter include not having your keywords or the accounts you want to be associated with in your bio. And again, make sure that web link is up to date. Lots of people pin posts on Twitter, which is absolutely fine. If it's something that you want everyone to see, you would click on pin to your profile. But then they forget it's there. And it might be a couple of years on since you pinned that post. So make sure the pin post you've got on there is relevant and up to date. Don't just tweet once a day. And I'll show you why. If we go into our analytics, you can see over the last 28 days, I've tweeted 100 times and I've reached over 23,000 people. That's led to 303 people looking at my profile, 39 people mentioning me, and I've got 12,000 followers, but I lost 2 of them this month. That's the sort of information. So you can imagine, if you were only tweeting once a day, think of the audience you're missing out on. I tweeted this, it was seen by 188 people. 3 people have clicked through to the website to have a look at it. That's 188 people out of 12,000 followers. The same on this one, 164, 142, 146. If you're just tweeting once a day, you are missing out on such a good reach. Twitter is a fantastic tool that you can use, and you can see all my tweets here. They're all about driving backlinks to my website, creating backlinks to my website to drive traffic there. 44 people have liked the post. 30 people from Twitter have clicked through to look at the events. You're missing a trick if you're not tweeting a minimum of 5 times a day. All right, so really think about it. You can use generic tweets. You could use Hootsuite like we do to schedule the tweets to go out. If you pay for Hootsuite, I think it's about $25 or pounds a month at the moment. If you use that, you can then bulk upload your tweets at once. We stopped bulk uploading for all of our clients when lockdown happened, because the messages and everything had to change that we were sending out to be a bit more sensitive. So, and lots of the businesses were closed, and they all had their different circumstances. So we had to make the tweets more appropriate. But we will go back to bulk upload, which is basically converting a website into 50 tweets, uploading it, and that's the next 2 weeks' tweets of 5 a day going out for you. We can then reuse those tweets with different images. They look like completely different tweets. All right, so don't underuse Twitter. And people do underestimate it. It is so powerful for creating those backlinks to the website. You can sell to your heart's content on Twitter. And you've got double whammy there, because you've got the fact that your products are visually being put in front of everyone on Twitter, as well as creating those backlinks for your SEO. Right, then it's what we got, 7 minutes left. So I think I'll stop and I'll answer questions, because I'm sure there will be a few.
For sure there is, yes. The question box is filling up nicely. So start with the first one. This is from Noriko. Following the question I asked earlier, although I use Facebook and Instagram for different audiences, I'd like to set up a Facebook shop and sell my products on Instagram. So how do I go about this?
Was this the guy who was an artist?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to be really hard for you on Instagram, where I'm in a battle with Facebook at the moment about artists. But basically, to create your shop on Facebook, you would literally go to Facebook, go to your page settings, go to your tab section, and add the shop tab. Okay? Once you've got the shop tab, you can start populating it with your products. And you can set up now, people can actually buy your products through your Facebook account if you don't have an online booking system. Or you can just take orders through messages and set it up the way you like to. But create that shop on Facebook in the first instance. And as you could put things into collections. So if you did one size of canvas, for example, that might go into a collection, or it might be that you've got a portrait and a landscape collection. You'll then try and apply for an Instagram shop, and at the moment you'll get knocked back because you'll be in the category of artist. So it might be that you want to, for now, change your category to home improvements or something like that. Set up the shop, and then when you apply for the Instagram shop, you've got more chance of being approved. And then you're able to tag your products and everything in Instagram. But at the moment, artists come under the category of services. Even though you guys sell products and so on, they're insisting that you're a service. So there is a big battle going on at the moment, but it's been going on for months. And I haven't got anybody at Facebook yet that's been able to override it for artists. All right, so change your classification first, then set up your shop, get approval on Instagram, and then later on, leave it for a while, and later on you can change it back to artists once it's all approved and up and running.
Brilliant. So another question here. It's with regards to Google websites. You mean the website for your team? They have on Google Suite. I'm not quite sure about this.
Oh yes, so this was the person who doesn't have a website. Yes, you can create it within Google. So it was when I went onto my dashboard on Google, it was on the left-hand side, it said website, and it is just basically the information that you put on your Google business listing. It just turns that into a website for you, and then you can go in and edit it. There's a couple of templates. It's really basic, but it's a web presence, and it's.
Yeah. And then we got another question here. Do you have to have a physical business address for Google Business?
Yes, you do, but you do not have to display it. So if you're a business working from home and you don't want your address plastered everywhere, when you put your address in, you'll see there's a box that says, I do not want my address to be displayed. It'll then ask you what mile radius or what are the cities that you serve, what are the countries or the cities that you service, and you put your details in there. It will need your address to send you the postcard for you to verify that you're where you say you are, but you do not have to have that address displayed.
Well, next question. You have been mentioning how frequently you should post on each platform. How do you keep your content good and consistent to reach the recommended amount?
Yeah, so this goes back to having a strategy. Now, what I teach when I do that, like a content and strategy course, I teach people to create an Excel spreadsheet. At the top of the page, you have the days of the week. Down the side, you have all the different platforms and how often, like, so it could be your Facebook business, your Instagram stories, LinkedIn, Google business, email marketing, blogging. You can include it all on this strategy. And then you tick how many times you're going to be using these platforms or how many days a week you're going to be using them. And you can actually go so far as to say, this is what I'm going to talk about on a Monday. So it might be Monday, Facebook, roundup of weekend. And you take a lot of photographs over the weekend, create them with the video in quick and upload it and say, this is what I got up to the weekend. How was your weekend? ? Then you might say, right, on a Wednesday, I'm going to run a poll. On a Friday, I'm going to go and find a funny cat video for Rory. Okay, it might be that. And then if you put that in your box, if that's what you're going to do on those days, then you'll find things as you go on through the weekend. You can just save it, or you can create the post then and schedule them to go out on the right days and so on. You've also got things like hashtags that trend on a weekly basis. Things like Monday motivation, Tuesday thoughts, Wednesday motivation or hump day, Thursday thoughts, Friday feelings, Friday fun, things like that. You've got those subjects that are going to trend week in, week out. Have them on your sheet. They're there as a fallback. Or it might be that you say, right, they're the sort of thing that I'm going to use on my Instagram page. Or I'm going to make sure I've got a motivational tweet with the correct day of the week going out every day on Twitter. There's also websites like daysoftheyear.com. Brilliant. So you know all these national days that happen, all these daft days and so on, they're all listed in a calendar form on daysoftheyear.com. It's brilliant. That's a really good, when you're sitting down, you're planning your content, you could do a month's worth of content using that website. Another good place to look for content for the here and now is Twitter. Go to Twitter and look at the trending topics. Find out what everyone's talking about and get involved in that conversation. Okay.
Cool. We've got a question here. Please explain stories from grassroots level for over 70s.
Stories. So basically, stories are a series of photographs or 15-second videos But what happens is when somebody opens up the Facebook app, or they open up the Instagram app, right at the very top of those of your profiles are stories. And you click on a story and it just runs through. So I'll quickly show you. Oops, I didn't click share, did I? No. Yeah, so if I go to Ocean Fit, always has a story going. There we go. So Ocean Fit in Whitley Bay. When I click on here, these are his stories. So he's uploaded, basically he's used his mobile phone. He's gone into Instagram for that one there. And in Instagram, he's chosen the app called Super Zoom. And he's created all those hearts and stuff and it's zooming in. So here's a selfie he's taken of him with his dog. You can see his dog is the star of his Instagram account. And what he's doing is he's uploading images to stories, and then he's using the stickers or the hearts or the different ways of posting things like boomerang. There's all kinds of things built into Instagram for you to play with. The reason we're using it is because it's quick. You know, when you're posting something on social media, you've got 1.3 seconds to capture somebody's attention before they're going to move on to the next post. If your update is moving, it's going to be more eye-catching and more people are going to watch it. With stories, I'm a massive believer. They only stay there for 24 hours and they drop off. So you need to be thinking about updating to your stories 3 times a day. So here's a photograph of what I'm doing this morning. Here's a photograph of what I'm doing at lunchtime. Here's a photograph of me in the evening. It could be that you're using it for business and you've got prepared templates that you can upload, or it could literally be, here's a selfie of me and what I'm doing at the moment, or here's a photograph of my computer and what I'm up to. And you can use it for subtle marketing. Lots of people will use it at events, you know, when we actually do physical events. Loads of people will use it for launching products and getting some excitement and build up before the big day. And some people just use it to show the behind the scenes of the business. You know, this is what we get up to. This is how we rock. This is what we do in our office, all that kind of thing. So you've got to decide how you're going to use it. And they're quick snippets of information to update people throughout the day. The important thing being, when somebody opens that Instagram account, their own Instagram account, there's your story right at the top of their phone. Hopefully that answers that one for you.
No, definitely. We've got one here. How do hashtags work on Twitter? When I use one, I get a list of available hashtags to use, but they are really limited.
So they're working exactly the same way as all the other platforms. You don't have to just choose from the ones that Twitter is suggesting. Twitter have recently said that you get better views on your posts when you use hashtags, but I haven't found that. So like all the other platforms apart from Instagram, I would always suggest 2 to 3 hashtags on a tweet.
Brilliant. Okay, and our last question is, what's the easiest way to make the most of customer reviews? Where should I send them to leave reviews? And also, my customers usually buy different things from me, so we'll come back to leave reviews time after time.
Brilliant. That's really, really good. It's up to you where you want to send them. Give them the choice. It's always a really good follow-up email, isn't it? If you're using MailChimp or something like that for your email marketing, you could have a template in there that you automatically send to people when they bought from you and just say, thank you so much for your business. It would be fantastic if you could leave me a review. And then you put the links into all your different sites. So Facebook reviews are brilliant. Google reviews are brilliant. LinkedIn reviews are excellent. But you give them the option. And that, because not everybody uses Gmail and therefore won't leave a Google review. But your Facebook reviews will be pulled through to your Google accounts as well anyway. So it's double whammy. So I'd say mainly Facebook. And then what I tend to do is I head off to my website. I thought I had it open. Hopefully this will open quicker this time. And I've got a testimonials page on the website. And it's quite lucky for me because I'm business to business. But what I do is I copy and paste my LinkedIn and my Google and my Facebook testimonials into this section of my website. And then what I do with that is create backlinks, outlinks going from my website to the client's website, which again is ticking the box for Google. They want to see inlinks, outlinks, and backlinks. And this is a great way for me to get these outlinks from my website. So the answer is, it doesn't matter where you're getting the testimonials from. They're all great. But then what I would do with them is create them as images. So you could use all those testimonials, upload them into something like Canva, create lovely branded visuals, and use them on your Instagram account.
Brilliant, fantastic. And just a quick one here. We've got Facebook reviews will be pulled into where? Someone just missed out on that. So where?
Through to Google. So you can see.
Through to Google.
Let me show you. Again, it's always easier to demonstrate. I can't spell. My eyes are going now. So you can see on my listing here, down here, 5 out of 5 Facebook reviews. All right, so it pulls it through onto your Google business listing as well. So I've got Google reviews on here, but I've also got my Facebook review. There now.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Amanda, for a really eye-opening session here.